And it's not that video games aren't awesome. They're awesome, but I don't play them on purpose because I love them. That's why I don't play them. They're too involving, and they're not real life, and they can steal real life, even though you're having a good time.
Right. When I think back to the video games that I played, which were, of course, you know, much cruder.
What was your video game of choice?
Well, when I was really young, when I was, a kid in high school, I used to play Castle Wolfenstein on my Apple II. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't that by the id Software guys? I think those are the guys that designed Doom, and I'm pretty sure Castle Wolfenstein was them. I think that was their first game.
I don't know.
Right? Was it Jamie? Yeah. That's John Carmack and John Romero.
But it was pretty cool. But here's the problem with it.
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't?
No,
No?
no, different guys.
Different guys. They had a game like that, though?
I thought so. My brain, they're connected, but it's Google says. it says no.
Who developed
Muse Software? Guy
Oh,
named
but wait a minute.
Silas.
Didn't Muse have something to do with id? Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm looking at the games that Muse Software put out. They stopped putting them out in '85.
Okay, and then Doom was what year? So Doom was definitely id. And that was the first one. That was the first like real 3D shooter game that just captivated
'93.
me.
That was almost. 10
That was
years later.
93?
Yeah.
Boy, I started playing Doom and I was like, it's over.
Right.
It's over.
But-
and it's so crude if you watch it now.
Yes.
There you go. John Carmack developed a new game engine called the Doom engine, while the rest of the id Software team finished Wolfenstein 3D prequel. So they made a game
Okay.
involved with that. There you go.
That's what it is. Okay. Yeah, so that was them.
But think about, a video game is an incredible tool for training the mind,
Sure.
right? It trains you to just precisely time things, to have yourself in this mindset, to know exactly where you are in the game, to remember a sequence of moves, whatever it is. It's an incredible training engine because the incentive structure is there so that you want to get to the next level, right? It's like what school should be doing, except what does it train you to do? Nothing.
Right.
As soon as
Nothing.
the next game captivates you, all of the skills that you invested in building are almost all wiped away. Now, maybe that's not quite true because all the first-person shooters are the same, and so skills you develop in Halo work for, I don't know what the others would be. But,
Right.
but nonetheless, the point is you're investing your ability to train your own mind into something that is guaranteed to be obsolete. That's not a good use of your time, even though I totally, I did play video games. But
You know what the argument against that is? The same argument against chess. So chess obviously trains the mind to be stronger and more effective in many other areas of life. One of the things they found about video games is surgeons in particular that play video games have 25% less errors.
well, that makes sense.
Is that the number? That was the number, right? It was like 25%?
However,
High number.
but imagine that you decided to leverage that. That in fact, my feeling is school ought to look like a bunch of fun exercises and activities and puzzles that cause you to want to do it. It shouldn't have to be school. We shouldn't have to make you go. It should be structured so that you want to be there because
It's exciting.
It draws you in. And so a video game, I'm not against them in principle, because a video game could train you to do something or to think about something in some incredible way. But they just don't, because the market is going to find the thing that brings in the maximum number of people and holds them to the greatest effect and causes them to want to buy the sequel.
Right. Isn't there's a balance, though, between discipline and inspiration? And one of the things that school does teach you is you have to be disciplined. You have to actually get your homework done. You have to actually do things. You have to do things you don't want to do. Delayed gratification. I think that's actually an important component to life, that if you want to be successful, even in things that you're inspired to do, you have to be willing to work when you're not inspired. And that's where discipline comes in.
Wisdom, I argue, is effectively delayed gratification. That, figuring out that investment now, that doing something that doesn't feel good now
Right.
results in a big reward later, that's a huge part of the key to life. And in part, that's what all of these consumer realms that are stealing from us are taking away. The point is, if you want to be investing in something and you're willing to pay the price of whatever unpleasantness or time or whatever it is that you're spending, and you've got all of these competing things that can give you a hit of dopamine right now, it's very hard to develop that skill.
Yeah, that makes sense. And this sort of entitled world that we live in, where we're so used to things being instantaneous and immediate gratification, that becomes a kind of a core tenet of how we interface with the world. We only are interested in things that give us things right away.